For too long, the drug war was framed as a battle between order and chaos. At yung withdrawal ay ginawa mismo ni President ng dating Pangulo Rodrigo Duterte, hindi po ibig sabihin, hindi na po siya masasakdal, hindi na po siya maiimbestigahan at masasakdal. And sabi ko nga, kailangan mo natin mag-rejoin sa ICC. It does not only improve our very own standing in the international community, that we do respect international law, that we do respect jurisdiction of international bodies with competent jurisdiction, ay pinapakita po natin na hindi po tayo takot na makipag-coordinate uli sa ICC as an international tribunal if a similar situation happens in the future. Justice delayed domestically becomes justice outsourced internationally. Dear colleagues, this is not about personalities, it is about principle. If we believe that no one is above the law, then we must accept that even a former president may stand before an international tribunal. If we believe in sovereignty, we must also believe in the rule of law commitments we freely undertook. If we believe in justice for the poor, we must ensure that their deaths are not reduced to statistics, nor their families silenced by fear. The confirmation of charges hearing at the International Criminal Court, which may be happening at this very moment now, is only a procedural step. It is not yet a conviction. It is not yet a verdict. It is the beginning of a formal process where evidence will be tested and rights will be protected. Let the process unfold. Let evidence be presented. Let the truth, wherever it leads, to be established in the ICC as an international court of law. For too long, the drug war was framed as a battle between order and chaos. But the real divide has always been between impunity and accountability. Today, we must choose. I stand for accountability. I stand for the rule of law. And above all, I stand for the Filipino people, especially the voiceless, the powerless, and the grieving, who deserve nothing less than justice. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable De Lima. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize the lady from the Kabataan Party List, the Honorable Rene Co, for her interpellation.
The Honorable Rene Co is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, is the sponsor of the speech available to answer some questions in relation to the topic of her speech?
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we know that despite the fact that the coverage of crimes that is charged by against President Duterte na nakaharap ngayon sa ICC ay nasa period na nasa loob pa ng Rome Statute ang Pilipinas, the unfortunate reality ay pinwersa ni President Duterte na umalis na ang Pilipinas sa Rome Statute so that inanatep na matanggal yung mga naging presidential orders niya from the jurisdiction of the ICC. So I'd like to ask Mr. Speaker, what are the thoughts of my distinguished colleagues sa pagsasali muli ng Pilipinas sa International Criminal Court, no, at ratify muli ng Rome Statute sa jurisdiction na ito?
Okay, hindi po ibig sabihin dahil nag-withdraw na at yung withdrawal ay ginawa mismo ni President ng dating Pangulo Rodrigo Duterte, hindi po ibig sabihin hindi na po siya masasakdal, hindi na po siya maiimbestigahan at masasakdal. Dahil nga po malinaw din sa Rome Statute that the withdrawal of a state party does not absolve the state party also from its obligations incurred during the time or during the period where we were still a state party. And that means from 2011, nung naratify po ng Senado yung Rome Statute, and 2019, when the withdrawal from the Rome Statute became effective. And that was in 2019. And there was also a Supreme Court ruling from our very own Supreme Court in the case of Pangilinan et al. Versus Cayetano et al. Na kahit nga po nag-withdraw na, hindi ibig sabihin ay wala nang pakialam ang ICC. Dahil nga po, meron tayong mga obligasyon na hindi natin pwedeng basta-basta na lang talikuran nung panahon na naganap yung mga alleged crimes against humanity being attributed to the former president. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
At Mr. Speaker, so to clarify, ano po ang pagtingin ng distinguished colleague natin sa pag-rejoin natin sa Rome Statute?
I'm all for it. This representation, I'm all for it. I've been calling for the Philippine government, the current administration, to consider rejoining the ICC because it's the only international mechanism of accountability that can be relied upon or depended upon. If domestic mechanisms of accountability fail, or if the state refuses or unwilling or unable to genuinely investigate the crimes that are under the jurisdiction of the ICC, and that includes crimes against humanity. Paano po kung in the future there will be again another tyrant that will rule our country? And ganun na naman, gumawa na naman ng mga suklam-suklam na mga krimen covered by that, crimes against international humanitarian law, genocide, and other crimes against humanity. Na katulad nung drug war killings, naklarado po that this was systematic pursuant to a state policy. Ganun na naman ho ba tayo? Baka na, kasi you know, when most of the cases that fall or that are brought to the ICC are those involving powerful figures, including heads of state. And ordinarily, the domestic mechanisms of accountability become deficient. And sabi ko nga, kailangan ho natin mag-rejoin sa ICC. It does not only improve our very own standing in the international community, that we do respect international law, that we do respect jurisdiction of international bodies with competent jurisdiction, ay pinapakita po natin na hindi po tayo takot na makipag-coordinate uli sa ICC as an international tribunal if a similar situation happens in the future. Thank
Mr.
you. So
Speaker.
I strongly call for the government to consider rejoining ICC or the Rome Statute.
A final question, Mr. Speaker. Given that our distinguished colleague is a legal luminary and used to be a member of the Senate of the Philippines, which has the duty to ratify international treaties that the government enters into, ano po ba ang unang step para po mag-rejoin ang Philippines sa Rome Statute?
Unang-una po siyempre ay dapat sa executive yan with the DFA. The executive has to make a decision whether or not to rejoin. And then the decision of the president or the executive will be submitted to the Senate for ratification. Para yung una rin na pag-ratify natin ng Rome Statute nung una, yung 2011, ay ganun din po ang proseso na dapat gawin sa atin. Thank you.
So, it means, Mr. Speaker, nasa kamay po ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. ang pag-rejoin ng Philippines sa International Criminal Court, sa Rome Statute, alinsunod sa international principles of justice and accountability.
That is correct, Mr. Speaker. The initiative is on the part of the chief executive as the architect, the chief architect of foreign policy, and with respect also to international relations, with the assistance, of course, and the advice of the Department of Foreign Affairs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. We'd like to echo the sentiments of our distinguished colleague and of course open on the floor that actually today this representation alongside members of the Makabayan Bloc filed House Resolution number 809 expressing the sense that the government of the Philippines consider rejoining the Rome Statute so that we are again under the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. And again, nasa bola po ito ng ating Pangulo ngayon, si Marcos Jr. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, distinguished colleague.